Stampers, this is Holly from rubberredneck.typepad.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to make this beautiful vintage tea bag holder. It uses the stamp set called Choose Happiness from our main catalog. Visit my blog, rubberredneck.typepad.com, to find out how to purchase all the supplies I used to create this project. I have an online Stampin' Up! Store so you can order from anywhere around the United States. I'll also have on my blog a little project sheet that will have all the products listed and the item numbers along with the measurements for the paper measurements to put this together. Now this holds 2 tea bags with a clothespin, so you can put anything inside here about that same size. It's just a fun little idea. You can change this out for different times of the year as well. This would work great for a mother and daughter's tea event. You want to cut one piece of the Typeset Designer Series paper at 3.5 by 7 inches. Once you have that cut, you're going to fold this in half, so just line up your edges, take your bone folder and just crease that down nice and good. Once you have that folded in half, then you're going to take the stamp from Choose Happiness, ink it in Blackberry Bliss, and stamp around the edges. I also stamped lightly on it as well before re-inking it. Then take a stamping sponge and sponge the edges here with crumb cake ink. Then you want to cut one piece of old olive cardstock, and you want to cut that at 1 inch by 9 inches. Place it onto your Simply Scored and score it at 4.5. Once you have that scored, fold it over, use your bone folder to crease that down. Then you're going to take the stamp from Gorgeous Grunge, ink it in Old Olive, and stamp onto the old olive cardstock. Then fold it in half and take a stamping sponge and sponge your edges with some crumb cake ink. Once you have that part done, you're going to start gluing this all together. So you will need your liquid glue for this. And you want to just put a little bit of glue along the edge of the side here. Don't put it on too thick because you don't want it to smush out on the edges. Just put a little bit of glue on there, fold it over, and press down. Now you've just created a little pocket out of the designer paper. So there's your little pocket. Then you want to take your old olive cardstock that you just created and stamped on. That's going to be your little belly band. And then what you want to do is put that in the center and line up the edge with that scored line. And then you're just going to put a little bit of glue going the whole length of this on the right side. Then you're going to fold it over, line up your edges to make sure everything is even, and make sure it's even on your little bag here that you just created, and press down. Now because you put the glue on the end, when you had this unfolded here, it'll stick together and hold that, so you won't need to glue it on the other side. You can if you want, but then you'll have to glue that ahead of time. You'll have to put glue on there on both sides and then put this down on there. So there's a few different options for assembling. Once you have that part done there, take a pair of paper snips, cut in the center, and then go from the point to the center, and then from the point to the center, creating a triangle. So then you've notched it out, just to add a little more decoration to your project. Then you want to cut 2 inches of the 1/4 inch burlap ribbon. Then you're going to take a pair of scissors that you only use for a ribbon. I have a pair of paper snips here. I'm going to cut it right in half down the center. Once you have that cut in half, you will only need 1 piece. Then you're going to pull off the little strings here. Little fibers, just pull that out until that frays. And then once you have that frayed, you're going to take and put a glue dot on each end of that and place that onto your old olive cardstock. And you want to place it towards the left of this old olive cardstock. Then you want to cut 5 inches of the Venetian crochet trim. Now you're going to put a glue dot on one end And then you're going to place this on top of the burlap ribbon, overlapping it, and attach it to the old olive cardstock. Then you want to take another glue dot and put it onto the old olive cardstock along the edge here. Place that Venetian crochet trim on top of it. And then you're going to fold this over and put another glue dot. So put a glue dot on the end of that Venetian crochet trim and then fold this over, lining it up so you create a little loop. Then you want to cut one piece of very vanilla cardstock at 1 5/8 inch and by 3 inches. After you have that cut, take the stamp from Choose Happiness, ink it in Old Olive, and stamp onto the very vanilla cardstock. Sponge your edges again with the stamping sponge, and then you're ready to attach this to the front of your little bag. To attach it to the front of the little bag, you're going to add 2 stamping dimensionals. Place one at the top and one at the bottom on the back, and then peel off the backing. Then you're just going to place this right over that end of that Venetian crochet trim to hide that edge so it looks nice and finished here. Then you want to cut 6 inches of linen thread, and you're going to take and place a glue dot onto the linen or onto the very vanilla cardstock. And I just placed it on the end of that stem, and then you're going to wrap this on, place the linen thread on there, and then you're going to start creating a loop. So you'll need a couple more glue dots, and I just kind of kept placing them randomly so that once I started bending this, it started to create a little loop. And you can use, if you leave enough room, you can use the same glue dot again to create another loop. And then I just folded it back around, making like a figure 8 almost. So that's what it looks like so far. Then you want to take the stamp from Choose Happiness, ink it in crumb cake, and stamp onto a piece of Whisper White cardstock. Once you have that stamped on there, you'll have a little bird. Cut that out with your scissors, and then you're ready to put part of a stamping dimensional on the back of it. I used the edge off my stamping dimensionals here. Place it right on the back and then attach the bird over here in the center of your loops, hiding the ends. So now you have this finished look on your loops, and that's what it'll look like so far. Then you want to take some Pearl Basic Jewels, and you're going to add these in onto your card, or your pouch, sorry. You're going to take one big large one and put it up here in the top corner. And then I just added 3 more medium-sized ones in here onto that stamped leaf image. I just kind of put them on there randomly to make it look nice and pretty. And then to finish it off, you want one of the Regal designer buttons, and you want a medium-sized rich raspberry one. Place a glue dot onto the back of your button and just attach that over here onto the left, overlapping the cardstock and your ribbon. Then you'll just grab 2 tea bags, take your little clothespin, clip them on there on the end, and then you're ready to slide this into your little pouch. And now you have a little gift for a friend, a co-worker. If you're a demonstrator, it would be a little nice gift for a hostess, or make these for your club members. Then that completes the tutorial. Visit my blog, rubberredneck.typepad.com, for the project sheet download for this project. Thank you for watching.